Today, we are giving our take on the January transfer window. I'll get to the intro in just one sec. But before we get there, guys, do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV for weekly Premier League content. A lot of predictions videos coming week in and week out. We hold everybody on the show accountable. All right. So there's that plug as usual, joined by Barca Boy 103, Maxi Gaming. We usually have Austin Forbes with us. He's a little bit busy. It's the holiday season. We're less than a week away from Christmas if you're in the States. So just that time of the year, man. But the content keeps rolling. Today, as I kind of alluded to it before, we're going to pick our one January signing, the one signing that each of the big six clubs should make. It's a little bit more debatable for some of these teams. A few others will be very straightforward, but we'll dive into it. We're going to start in descending order on the table. So we'll go with United, and then we'll work our way up to Liverpool at the very end. So if you're a Liverpool fan, stick around. We got that coming soon. All right, lads, let's jump into it. Waste no more time. Manchester United, we just saw them play, by the way, right? I mean, if you're tuning into this at the time of publishing, it's going to be less than 12 hours probably after the game has come and gone. United were eliminated by Spurs in the Carabao Cup. Crazy fucking game. I mean,
if you're a neutral in that game, you were loving that shit. That shit was entertainment.
It was mental. I had no idea what to make of it, being an Arsenal fan myself, but it does set up the opportunity now with the last four for there to be a North London derby final. Everybody's talking about it.
Please.
It'd be insane, bro. Again, another final where Spurs fans get excited.
I want to make some money, man. I want to make some money.
And maybe get shit on. I don't know. We'll see. Arsenal have to get past Newcastle first, though. So one thing to note, by the way, with that game, just found out both Fabian Schär and Bruno Guimaraes are out for the first leg at the Emirates. So we'll see how that game goes. Going to be a big one. But nonetheless, we're here talking about United. Again, they lost. They're out of another cup. Amorim, I like to think, has not an extensive wish list, but I think, more than a few prospects that he's looking, because I think there are a few different positions you guys can reinforce in, Max. But let's start with you, bro. This is your team. Where's the biggest need? Who are you making as a signing?
Well, if you follow anything with United, there are a lot of reports about Ederson potentially in January from Atalanta. I don't know how true that's gonna. I don't know how true that is or how concrete. But
you didn't let anybody go. I feel like they wouldn't.
The only person that I think they will let go is because it's just becoming a big distraction to the club is Rashford. And before anything, listen, I love Rashford as most of everybody, and as a big Rashford fan, because he will be one of my favorite players ever. So he needs to leave the club for himself. He just needs to go and discover his love for football again. I think his love for football is gone. He went behind the back of our club and decided to host an interview, kind of Ronaldo style, which definitely shows to me that he's most likely going to be gone in January. To who? I don't know. It most likely will be a loan deal because his wages are fucking out of this world. But I could see like Milan or PSG, potentially one of those two. Because I know PSG has his eyes on him for a very long time. And
so
Milan,
you don't want to replace him then, like Rashford?
Would I replace Rashford? I don't think we could. I don't think it's possible to replace him in January, to be honest. I basically, like, when it comes to wingers and players of that caliber, like, it's nearly damn impossible to place a guy like that in January. So that's just not going to happen.
All right.
Summertime, absolutely. I have my own target list in the summer that I would absolutely love. I've seen some crazy ones that I was like, why would we might as well just keep Rashford, but we'll save that for another time. But January, I think the biggest position for us to reinforce is left wing back.
Ooh, that's an interesting shout. Hoppen had that one too.
Yeah, which means that I know ball. If I'm telepathically a United fan, I know what's up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's see if we have the same names or not, though.
Luke Shaw, got to be gone this summer. Unfortunately, I love Luke Shaw, and honestly, I think when Luke Shaw is healthy, we are one of the best teams, defensive teams.
Yeah, that's pretty sparse. Yeah,
that's just when he's healthy.
Yeah.
But we can't rely on him. Malacia is starting to get back into a little bit of form, but we don't know. Like, he was gone for nearly 2 years. Like, you can't just, like, that's just a long time.
Fair.
So
who'd you sign?
Even still, I think here's my issue though. There's a guy that I would love, but we cannot get him in January. I would love to get Nuno Mendes, but
that's a summer signing for sure.
But that's a summer signing, and that's the issue now because if we sign a left wing back, I don't see us signing a left wing back in the summer. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But either Gutierrez from Girona, I wouldn't mind. I think the fee's there, or Nori from Wolves, which I think fits perfectly for Amorim.
I Nuri would be a fantastic signing for sure. He's very offensive, which in y'all system it's a wingback, so it works. I knew he actually, and he's Premier League proven.
He's Premier League proven. Wolves are down bad at this point. At this point, they're most likely going to end up selling their players. So if United can find some,
I don't think they'll let them go until they're fully relegated. That for me,
they're not going to get relegated, but like they'll be okay.
No, that's like kind of like
what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But that one's a little bit more of a higher.
You know, I think I have a good option for you. I think I have a good option for you. So,
oh God.
Whoa, here we go. So I think, like you said at the beginning of your little monologue there, I think the priority for United this January should be getting rid of Rashford. However, be necessary. If you get it permanent, fantastic. If not, load. But the left wing back or left back that I put is Alphonso Davies, who's of course going to be a free agent this summer. You can pay a little bit of a fee to Bayern Munich now and agree a contract with him and get him out. I think that's way more realistic than Nori, who Wolves are fighting for their lives. They'll probably ask for, I would say, 50 million for him, who's doing well. If we saw in our trivia question, he has top assists so far in the Premier League. With someone with only having 6 months left on their contract, still not agreeing a deal with Bayern Munich, I think United coming in offering 20 million, which I would say is on the higher echelon for someone who has 6 months left on their deal. And then I think they can easily agree a deal with Davies if the two clubs agree on something. So I will say
Fonzie. I will say you like that, but you also like the fact that Real Madrid cannot go after him.
No, I mean
it's self-serving a little bit. It's self-serving a little bit.
No, the reports are right now is that he's closer than ever to renewing a contract with Bayern. So someone would have to step in January to make that happen, and Madrid will. If he's free in June and it's like 100% he's leaving Bayern Munich, I think of course Madrid will make him an offer. That's why I think it's good for United now to swoop in for him. And also keep in mind, he can't speak any other languages. He only got English in his book. He's been in Germany for like 5-6 years and still doesn't know German. But he's lucky
he's a little bit of, I think, a little bit of French, but that doesn't.
But still, for 5 years, it's like, bro.
Well, yeah. What's France gonna do for you in Spain and Germany?
That's what I say. That's what I say. It's like
so. That's why, the Premier League really attracts Canadians and Americans because the language barrier is non-existent, and it's always so difficult for us and us Canadians and you Americans to learn a different language because we're just so stuck in our own realm.
I see what you guys are both saying. The only reason I went attacking was because of the fact that United's like not even top 10 in goals per match right now. Like and I think they got something in Højlund. Xerxes, I don't know what the hell's going to happen to him. If you lose Rashford and if Garnacho, for whatever reason, kind of just floats in and out of favor with Amorim, I don't know. I don't know where the goals come from. Mason Mount's fucking beyond injured at this point. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. It's just I don't see consistent goals, and even if it means maybe moving Xerxes on with a loan, it might be far fetched. But I think, bro, he missed a point blank effort today against Spurs.
Loading half the attack at this point.
I mean, true. It's just I don't know, man. I think for whatever reason, there's a strong chance Gyökeres moves in general, not to United, but in January. He's probably the one striker right now that I could see making the move with how far Sporting have fallen since Amorim left. That's his boy. I think if there's a chance to get him, now get him out of there. If the fee's going to be somewhat similar to what it is in summer,
I cannot see United splashing 70 million on a striker when they have already invested 120 in Højlund and Xerxes.
It just depends on how you view the season at this point.
I get, yeah, but like, if for example, like you mentioned, of course, Xerxes not doing well. Højlund is doing okay. Offloading Xerxes is going to be a big question. So if you bring in Gyökeres, you're going to have 3 strikers for fighting all for one position because there's already strong competition between Xerxes and Højlund. You barely see them together on the pitch. You're seeing, Xerxes coming on in the secondary role, resting Højlund after 70 minutes. So I like the idea. Maybe it fits other Premier League clubs. Like you mentioned, I was always saying that Gyökeres leaving in January is going to be difficult. But like you mentioned, a great point. Since Aaron's left, Sporting had been on a cliff. He might be thinking, let's just cash out now, make that move 6 months early. So could be a good option for top 6 Premier League clubs. But I think United is probably the most difficult one. Maybe Chelsea as well. They just have too many options.
There's so many options, bro.
They'll go spend then splash 70 million on him.
Yeah, I actually agree with that take. So again, I'm not saying it's going to happen to United. I kind of this was difficult for me just because Yeah, they could use a left wing back 1,000%, but they also need goals. I don't know where they come from.
I agree. So when I was looking at the attack, I'm thinking, look, they have enough depth to survive to the summer. Plus, they probably want to bring in someone that of level like Max was saying about Nuno Mendes, someone that's going to be a summer transfer. That's why I went with someone more realistic and then a position they also really need to strengthen as well. And a deal is definitely possible to do.
And Davies can attack too. He can attack too. I guess that's the beauty of it. Yeah,
like
he can create chances.
I also don't think we would ever go after attacking because we have a bunch of academy kids that are supposed to start getting into some first team action coming next year. So I
need something, man. Something's gonna happen somewhere.
Something's gonna happen, but I truly don't think in order to replace Rashford, I mean Gyökeres, yeah, maybe that's an option, highly likely. But I also just can't see Sporting losing their manager and now losing their best player and within 4 months.
That would be kind of crazy. That would be kind of crazy.
They're a feeder couple. That's their job, right? So, game's game.
Yeah,
I know. Like they're all these. I know Portuguese clubs are all known for just collecting the bag, but
yeah, fuck it. Like
I don't think they want to be completely fucked.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't think Benfica would let go of Enzo when they did, and they did it. Like I think once the price tag is met, it's like if y'all want to pay that, cool.
To be fair, they're still top of Liga NOS by 1 point.
Yeah,
they got Benfica 1 point behind them, then Porto 2 points behind them. So there's maybe fighting for.
They fell the same way Barcelona kind of fell, like a very very hot start, and then since then have just slipped and the gap's been closed. But yeah, we'll see. I can see a left wing back if it's someone like Davies. Honestly, bro, that would be a massive fucking signing, just because of what he can do. Right. So,
I like the Nuri shout, especially if they don't maybe go in January, a summer one, especially if Wolves get relegated. That's a begging option.
If Wolves sell Nuri in January, season's chalked. Season's fucking chalk. Like if someone like him, or even like a Cunha,
I don't think United is smart like Max and I to go out and actually make moves. I think the only priority will be just try and get rid of Rashford, then they'll call it quits. I don't know.
Maybe
probably.
Yeah. I can see. All right, guys. Left wing back. Let us know in the comments down below if you think that's the biggest need and who you would make as a signing in January. All right, let's move on to Spurs again. Another team that has, I think, more than a few different holes you can kind of poke at. I'll kick things off on this one because I don't want to talk about Spurs that long, to be frank. I actually think, bro, if Forster's playing till March and
they need a fucking goalkeeper. I didn't go goalkeeper, so
yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't. I'm using it to make my point. I think if Forster's back there for a while and they're rotating center backs through injury so often right now, I think, bro, like if Dragusin and was it Davies? Was it? I saw Archie Gray there today.
So that's why I sent that screenshot in the chat against Southampton. I'm like, why are they playing a left winger, left mid, and center back?
I have no idea.
Well,
I thought the graphic was wrong.
He's a center mid, half right back. But
yeah, but he's not a
center back. But they don't have any other option, I guess. So
yeah,
that's not the reason why I said.
I think Pedro Porro played there once. And it was god awful. So like,
I don't trust the academy. I don't know why people. I hate how big clubs fail to trust the academy. Madrid only do it when they have to. Barca, of course, do it all the time. But
I agree with that. I
don't know why they don't trust. Even Arsenal are starting to see them do it slowly but surely. But like even like United, they'll probably put Casemiro center back before they call up someone else or maybe Ugarte there. I hate when they
even Ten Hag. The one thing about Ten Hag is like he did trust the academy. Like he put in a lot of academy kids during his time with United. Like Kior came.
But I agree. You don't see it. You don't really see it all that often. So, but I think with the point I was trying to make is that I think center back is a need. Like if you're starting Archie Gray back there, granted it's a Carabao Cup match, whatever. It's still United. Although I will say the you'll get a shout for United was because like they still weren't creating that many chances against Archie Gray and Dragusin. But
we had a superior XG against the Spurs. They just couldn't finish.
I was gonna say Skriniar is my shout, and he's been linked with them for fucking ever, bro. Like
that's a good shout for a center back. Fantastic shout.
That's who I think
he's on his way out anyway. Yeah,
I already being heavily linked to Galatasaray.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
that's so weird, bro.
That's kind of the typical move for him. You're 35. You're a reserve center back for a big team.
He can still offer value to some teams in Europe, though. I think like going back to Serie A would make a lot of sense.
The only issue that I have with them bringing a center back is that once Romero and Van de Ven and everyone else comes back fit, they're gonna have like 5-6 center backs.
But Van de Ven is always injured, bro.
Yeah, but
he's more injured than Araujo at this point.
So Van de Ven came back.
This is why I trust the academy.
Yeah.
I mean, fair. I just I don't know, man. To me, it's a need still.
For me, I didn't think of center back. I just thought like, what's a good opportunity for Spurs to get in January? And I put Leroy Sané. Very biased. Same thing I said with Davies. And a good winger, you can have maybe a front three of Son, Kulusevski, and Sané.
But what about like Brennan Johnson?
again, I had no idea, so I just looked at the best market.
He had like a hot start, kind of.
For me, it's always kind of like a Richarlison replacement. Someone they provide some depth. I think in like you move on Werner and Richarlison, you bring in Sane 2 in for 1. I think it's still an upgrade. Brennan Johnson, he's doing very well. I think he's either getting a goal or assist like every other game, but I think an opportunity like this with Sane, Premier League experience, of course, one favorite player, a young player of the year a few years back with Man City. Again, like Davies, coming to the end of his contract. I know a few Bayern Munich fans they let him go for free right now. That's how atrocious he's been for them. Of course, a big far fetch, but Bayern Munich are not discussing with him on any contract whatsoever. So he's gonna walk for free. You could offer maybe 10 million to Bayern, and I think genuinely they might take it. So for a player like him, for a team like Spurs as well, who they always get good name players, but not good players. So like, for example, like a team of Werner, he comes in, has a good, first 3 weeks, and after that, he's been god awful. I mean, and just hooking him off at halftime in like conference rotated games, saying that he's basically shit in press conferences. So same with Richarlison as well. So maybe offload those two, save on their wages, and bring in someone who can provide different outlooks on either wing, of course, at a very, very good level when he's on his day. So I've gone with Sane.
Yeah, that's fair. When they're healthy, though, they have like 4 to 5 wingers. That's my only issue. But I think, and you can make the same with defenders, right? I just think Van de Ven's made of glass, and I think, like I said, if you have to start who they're starting now, it's right now it's clearly a need, and especially with Vicario not back there, bro. You just shore up that back line as much as humanly possible. So
and I truly don't think Skriniar is like. I also picked Skriniar, by the way. So I think if you can ask me, I also picked Skriniar. Also, to do the fact that he's on his way out PSG. He doesn't have Premier League experience, but he's played for big clubs, and I truly don't know what happened with PSG, but I know he's not that bad of a defender. So
no, he's not that bad. They just brought in better options. Phased out a little bit. That's how.
So I feel like a team like Spurs and a chance to go to the Premier League to kind of rejuvenate your career would be a great fit for him.
Yeah, I'll concede on that one.
I think so too. So yeah, Spurs. We'll see if they add a center back in the window. We'll move on to Manchester City, guys. I've said it so many times. Yeah, we don't have to have like a debate about the position. It's midfield, bro. This midfield has to get better. It's kind of crazy to say, bro. The recruitment at City in this position over the last couple seasons just hasn't been that great. Unfortunately for them, it hasn't. And now without Rodri, it's all fucking exposed. So. We could probably say that's the easy layup here.
I said we did this video almost exactly. Well, maybe a little bit before today. I said last year they need to go get someone in case Rodri goes down, and I said Youssef Fofana from Monaco.
Yeah.
And now look where we are.
At that time, though, I felt like Kovacic would have been a good reserve option, given of course Rodri wouldn't be injured for a whole season, just to come in for a game or two. And I also thought that Gundogan now would kind of put in a shift. But they're both Kovacic has been injured, but Gundogan's just been absolutely atrocious. So
yeah, it's been crazy.
I just don't think either of them can play a single pivot alone. Like,
I agree.
For sure they can. I'm just saying as like a quick game to rest Rodri here and there.
Yeah. So the obvious sign probably has to be Zubimendi then, right?
That's who I had, Zubimendi, and they're ready to splash down on Rangers from fucking Milan.
No reason why this is realistic.
If they want to splash money on Rangers, I mean they obviously need to.
Rangers not a pivot though.
No, he's like a double pivot.
He's very much like a Frankie De Jong. He won't do that.
So that's why I'm like
touch at the same time too.
I hope that Zubimendi says no to City, but like that's only logical.
Another option I have,
and
just to end my Bayern Munich trade is Joshua Kimmich. Same reason, 6 months left on his deal. Again,
to be honest,
he's an option. He's coached under Pep. Play a right back. So you can maybe when Rodri comes back, you can get rid of Kyle Walker as well. So 2-for-1 combo deal.
Let me ask you guys.
Pep loves Kimmich, man.
He does love Kimmich, 100%. Let me ask you guys: could Pep maybe overthink this and decide to move someone into that position, that like a John Stones, and sign someone to shore up the back line?
I think he's gonna overthink it and not sign anyone.
Yeah, I think that this may not even sign anyone at all. But
like a Mark Gahey.
If he puts John Stones there, that's still not going to work. Like John Stones cannot play that position for the rest of the season. Like
he only did it well under the treble year because he had Rodri beside him.
That's true. Yeah. I agree. I'm just asking if like maybe he decides, hey, you know what? We're also leaking like crazy in the back. Gahey was he's open to a move. He's supposed to move in the summer. It didn't happen. Now, right? Maybe he gets a shot at him. I don't know. I think it's an interesting just idea.
Or they bring in a left back, then move Gvardiol in the middle, then put John Stones in the midfield, stuff like that. There's many ways to make shape it like you mentioned, but the clear is going to pivot.
Yeah,
Rodri's getting older as well, so might as well just bring someone in now.
And honestly, bro, if there was a direct replacement for Rodri, Zubimeni would fit it perfectly, and he proved it at the
And
Euros
yeah,
this past summer.
and
So
Adrian Rodri, that's his teammate.
yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see. They should sign somebody, but
The
if they
question is when
don't,
they're
bro,
both fit, what happens?
yeah,
That's
if they,
that's two really, really good pivots.
yeah, but you still, yeah, I
He's
mean,
fine, but
this is a conversation, but
they'll
yeah.
find a way to make it work. I mean, who knows? Coming off that type of injury too, for
Yeah,
Rodri,
I
It's
guess
always
we'll see
50
how
50.
that gets
You
back
come
in.
back you come back the same or you come back worse. I've seen it so many times for either side.
We'll see. We'll see what City do. All right, moving into Arsenal. I think the need is so fucking obvious, bro. It's so obvious. This was, like I said, it kind of gets shorter the higher up you go here. I honestly, bro, a lot of people will say striker. I still think a versatile attacker is needed, like someone who could play winger and striker. My dream signing is Isak. I mean, I think the guy is literally the reincarnation of Henry to an extent. I think he could play left wing or striker. But if we're looking at the window, bro, I honestly think like Acuna from Wolves would be my dream.
I thought of that, but City, I know it. Wolves ain't never gonna let him.
Yeah, I know. It's unrealistic a little bit, but like,
and at that point, if you're paying that high
plus-
price, you just splash it on Gyökeres.
Plus,
instead of, going for Cunha.
I think he's like really trying to figure out how he can get something to United, even though I don't want him at United.
Yeah, but I think he.
He's
Yeah,
like
I think he does.
I think he really wants United. Like,
yeah. So I was gonna shout Cunha, but if I'm being realistic, bro, Dewsbury Hall from Chelsea would be my pick. I think I'm telling you, it's a perfectly on brand Arsenal signing, is it not? Perfectly on brand, like Arsenal.
I think after Sterling, they ain't going back to Chelsea for a loan. If I'm being honest.
I say someone like that because, in my opinion, just watching more of Odegaard this season, bro, he comes in so deep. He might as well be the 8. I wouldn't even make him the creative playmaker anymore. Like have him be the one that plays the balls from deep, cuts through the lines, and finds a Gabriel Jesus, a Kai Havertz, somebody, so that we're not just moving the ball loudly from side to side. I think Odegaard plays deeper, and you get someone who can play as like a 10, a center forward. Maybe they have some winger experience. Acuna or Dewsbury Hall would kind of be my pick for that. Outside of that, you can give shouts to like Kolo Muani and shit like that, but like I don't know why he fell out of favor at PSG. That's my biggest question mark. If you're falling out of favor at PSG as an attacker,
my PSG friend told me that Luis Enrique just didn't like him. He was more so of a board signing because at the time France were doing very well. They're a French club and they needed a striker, so he kind of fit the mold. But
okay, how do you guys feel about Kolo Muani then?
I like Kolo. I don't think he's that bad. I mean, I don't think he's that bad. I think he just
talent's there.
A weird.
I mean, he's rapid. He's got a good finish on him, but we haven't seen that in like a year. So
I don't know. To me, he's so 50-50.
But he also,
I would get someone in the Prem.
But he also went there when fucking Mbappe was still there. They had Asensio. They had Ramos. They had and Tinkike, what's his name? Tinkike?
Yeah.
Like there was so many options.
I think
there was so many options up top that like he just never. I feel like he just never had the opportunity.
But when you sign him for 90 million, he's going to be the starter, right? I think once
Neymar and
Messi left. No, once Neymar and Messi left, he was the starter for the first few months because Gonzalo Ramos was kind of the second option. But then Luis Enrique just didn't fancy him. Started playing Ramos, and Ramos started scoring. Then even now, with the past 3 months, when Ramos has been injured, he's playing Dembele as a center forward, Kang In Lee, Marcos Asensio. So that's how much he unrates him. That's why PSG kind of want to.
If Marco Asensio is starting over you at this point of his career, bro, I mean, I think it says everything you kind of need to say. And I don't think Luis Enrique would be so biased against the player that he would risk results. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's a massive question mark. I think Cunha, or even like, bro, if we shout someone like Mbumo, but he's purely a winger. I think he can play forward. He can be that guy, but
I think he's purely a winger.
Purely a winger. And
so my thought process was the same thing as you, trying to find a versatile forward that can play on the wing in the 10, maybe up front. I was looking at Cunha and other options, but those weren't realistic. So I went with another Canadian brother, Jonathan David. Again, he's going to be free soon.
But wouldn't you wait for him? Someone like him?
I feel like he's been when Arsenal, like every year.
Keep on Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal needs something because they're gonna have so many games coming up. They're gonna play 2 extra games now in January because of the EFL Cup. They're in the Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League. They're gonna need depth, and he's been sensational in league. And again, there's no barrier there with the English adaptation.
But then you have 3 forwards. Like I thought that's already made it clear he's not going to move on from Jesus. So you legitimately have 3 guys. I mean, David he can play in the 10, but you
can put Rice in the 6, Odegaard in the 8. You can have Havertz in the 10. Jonathan David up front, or vice versa.
Oh yeah, or
You know,
vice versa. Yeah.
you can switch it up. And again, I think when a player like him is available and the numbers he's doing in Liga are disgusting. You know, he's breaking records for a historic team like Lille in Liga, and he's doing so well. He's a lethal striker. You know, he did it even in the Champions League, scored against both Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. And it's a good option to come in that if, you know, Jesus moves on when Arteta maybe comes to his senses a little bit, he'll be a fantastic reserve option, I think, as like a natural striker. Kind of like Eddie Nketiah, but like on steroids and drugs. Like he's just 3 times better than the player. I think the profile of Eddie Nketiah was really what Arsenal needed, but he just wasn't up to the level and stuff like that.
It wasn't
So
consistent.
David's like a massive upgrade on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good shout. I just questioned whether or not that would just wait to get him for free. But again, then you're competing with whoever else is going to be in for him, and that's another thing.
So that's why you pay that little premium.
Yeah,
get him early.
Yeah, and I think we need to spend money in January anyway. So I agree, it's not a bad shout. Max, who'd you have before we wrap up?
I had Colo and OC.
Okay.
OC because I can't remember
Price
exactly,
tag?
but the price tag for January was cheaper than this price tag for the summer. Something like that.
Yeah,
it's not going to prove him walking. He's bringing in so much money for Galatasaray.
He really
so
is. Well. But
I don't think they'll prove him to leave.
I think he's kind of overrated. That's my only
unless
thing,
Napoli already have it in their loan
got.
deal that if they get an offer and we accept it, then he has to leave. Apart from that, I don't see because if you're on loan,
that's also part of the deal. Like
if that's part of the deal, then okay, fair.
Because he didn't want to go to Galatasaray. That was only a very, very last minute resort. He was still waiting. He was still waiting to get an offer from one of the big clubs in the Prem or PSG. So I think that's what was put in his contract, his loan contract for Galatasaray. So I mean, yeah, and I feel like OC. I don't think OC is overrated. I just think that for whatever reason he just. You cannot tell me that Lukaku is better than Osimhen. A guy who won Napoli. Who's the main reason why Napoli won the Serie A a few years ago? Yeah. You cannot tell me that. So I don't know what the situation was and what the fallout was, but
there's got to be a reason. That teams are staying away. I worry about that. I guess especially with a younger team like Arsenal. But I mean, outside of that, it's not a bad shot. Like if we signed Osimhen, I really wouldn't be like. I know I have my concerns now, but I wouldn't be like, oh shit. No, I'd be like, all right, cool. We leveled up at attack. I mean, at least now we have a striker. So
at least for Colo, you guys can find a way to do some type of loan deal for the next 6 months. And if it doesn't work out, because I'm pretty sure he can play both the left and as the 9. So you can put a loan deal for 6 months.
If he makes Kolo Muani relevant, nobody should ever question that again.
And truly, just if it doesn't work out,
look at Hoffman, bro. He's like, all right, let's move on. It's a good shout, guys. Again, for Arsenal, man, let us know down below. There's so many options of who we could go with. I think Kolo's not a bad shout. Cunha would be a dream. Jonathan David would be a very interesting signing. We'll find out, man. All right, Chelsea, how are we feeling about where?
I went with the most rogue shout of all time.
I mean, they're in a title race right now, so they're already in a good spot.
No, they're not. They keep saying they're not.
We need a Chelsea fan on the show to have that debate.
Yeah.
But how you feel?
I went with a center. I went with a center back.
I went with a fullback / center back. A player that can play across
I was
the whole time
thinking about right back, but then I was like. There are
Me too. I was looking at right backs, and I found this player that I'm going to mention who can play across the whole back line. So that's why.
Well, don't tease us anymore. Fucking give it up. Let's go. What do you got?
It's your former Barcelona player in Oscar Mingueza.
Wow, that is the most rogue shit we probably had since you said
he's doing well
for the best U21s.
Well, he's doing well at Celta Vigo. He can play again left back, right back, and center back. Positions where Chelsea are makeshifting like no tomorrow. Half their squad is injured at that point. Reece James is as fit as Mason Mount can be.
You think he can play the Prem?
Mingueza, yeah. Half the team is Spanish, so I think the manager as well. So I think he would adapt pretty well. That's why I went with him, but I think it's not an outrageous shout for someone who would be available for around 20 million plus Barcelona to get about half of it as well. I think it's
another self-serving pick. Look
That's
at
not
that.
self-serving.
There it is. The 10 million that goes back to Barca. Look at that.
It's not self-serving. I thought of the option before that came up. And again, I left back as well. When Kukurea can play, he can do a job there. But I think he would mainly be probably an option at right back and at center back. And again, when they have a team where they have depth, but the depth cannot stay fit, like look at them. They're playing. I've seen Malaguso play center back. We're seeing Caicedo playing right back. So having a player like him that's very versatile and also can play at the high level at one specific position, I think would be a good option. And for like 20 million as well, and half your team being Spanish, it's like, I think it's a good move.
Yeah, there definitely wouldn't be any tax coming into that because, bro, you're buying from La Liga and against a mid-table side in La Liga. It's definitely going to be a straightforward transaction. So
Exactly. And I think the release cost is like 20.
great like hipster shout for the entire show today. So I like that one.
Yeah,
Max,
that's a good shout.
um,
I actually had Mark Gui.
who'd you say?
What's it? Gui?
Oh,
Not
Gahey,
Gay.
yeah. Bro, I
I thought
had the same shout. I had the same shout. I
I
had
thought
the
you
same
meant
shout.
Marguerite, the striker that's already there. I'm like, what?
No. Hey,
Boom, back
gay,
down.
whatever.
I know who you're talking
no,
about. Yeah,
that's
bro,
a
that was my
Chelsea fan.
exact shout. That's my exact shout. Go ahead.
Chelsea, they're not afraid to spend the money clearly, and they need the only. I think the only, which they don't need any depth anywhere, but I think the only besides a right back, but the only other depth I could see is probably center back, where I think that's kind of where they struggle a little bit. So
If
He
that's
would
realistic,
take that move tomorrow, bro. 100%.
he
if
would,
that's
and he
realistic,
would
I'll give you guys the point. I just don't think that Palace will have him go in January unless Chelsea, like you mentioned, pay the big bucks. But are they going to pay Van Dijk /
They-
Maguire money for Gay when Newcastle had a bid of that level rejected? That's
But I
why I
think
didn't
that-
really pick him.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
I
think
agree.
they also rejected it because they didn't spend any money to reinforce that position, and they also just lost Olise, and I think honestly, I think that board had no plan of what to do because, as we can see, they're not.
But they brought in consider, they brought in Chad Brilliant, they brought in Lacroix, so I think they had like the options there, right, in case the offer was accepted. But I just think that again, when teams in the Premier League from like 9th to 20th have a good English player, they just tax it to shit. Whether it was
Yeah,
Southampton
true.
with
Of course,
Van Dijk, Gahey, all these other Harvey Barnes and James Madison when they're at Leicester, like it's
I just
just
wonder
too cracked.
Yeah, it's true. But I just wonder how hard he pushes if he heard Chelsea was coming knocking. I mean, it'd be interesting again, considering that he was ready to make the move. But bro, again, Miguel has a crazy shout in an interesting way. Like I will entertain that all day. Yeah, man, this is a really good one. I think you really can't go wrong. I think from Chelsea's perspective, they're good in
I mean,
midfield.
I think they're good in the midfield. Attacking, I mean, they have every attack in
Exactly.
the
That's
fucking
why I
world.
went straight to the defense. I was looking at goalkeepers as well, but they already have 2 goalkeepers who are at a high level,
Bro,
just aren't performing. And then
at one point they had like 8 fucking keepers.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
at one point they literally had 5.
but they're pretty well sorted out. That's why I went with the defender that could play across that back line and be, kind of like a utility knife back there, plugging holes and being consistent. That's what Mingueza is. That's why I was looking at like players with 2 years left on their deals. That way the transfer can be more realistic. Since he's in Spain, there's a release clause there. I think his release clause like 20 million. So
yeah. Guys, Chelsea fans, down below, let us know, man. Gahey or Mingueza. If you don't know who Mingueza is, bro, go watch La Liga. Go watch Celta Vigo play, man. Go check him out, man. I think if he were to be successful in the Prem, it'd be a massive shout for fans to start tuning in. All right, man. Finally, Liverpool.
Ooh,
And look, man.
I got a left park one for this.
Really? Okay.
Really
Another hipster shout. All right, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, to me, the need is like it used to be somewhat obvious. I mean, everyone was screaming for a defensive mid in the offseason, and now I don't know, man.
I went with a left back.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Are you gonna say who I think you're gonna say?
Who?
Are you gonna say Jedi?
No.
Okay.
That's not gonna happen in January.
Yeah, fair enough. That's probably a summer deal for sure.
And first of all, how many times we talked about Jedi last year and everyone was clowning us?
I don't care, bro. I think now it's even better shout. If I'm being honest, like
he's
now,
the best left back in the league.
Yeah, bro. He is the best left back in the league.
Bro, I had USMNT fans in the comments, like in the trenches, bro, telling me he wasn't good enough to play top 4 in the Prem.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This man's a tank. But anyway, I think the left backs are pretty. I think Robertson's getting up there in age. I feel like he's not the same Robertson that we know. And
bro, but he's got Kyle Walker speed right now. I don't know what it is, man. This man's just
I don't know.
So involved up front.
But there's also Samiskas is dog shit. And they really don't have anyone to reinforce back there. So I said Ben Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell at Liverpool would be an interesting shot. Isn't he like solely a wingback?
No,
he's solely riding the Chelsea bench. That's what he's doing.
And that's exactly why. Ben Chilwell.
So you tell me that Chelsea are gonna load Dewsbury Hall and Chilwell?
Listen, Ben Chilwell.
Bro, they got 50 fucking players. They're like, hey, you know what? You want to take him? Go ahead, bro. We'll cover the side.
Exactly. They'll sell him for cheap. He's Prem proven. He's Ben Chilwell is good. He just can't stay fit. And I think you get him for next to nothing pretty much. So I feel like that's to reinforce your back line. I think that's a pretty.
I'll be honest. I just don't rate Ben Chilwell. That's just my personal opinion. I've never really rated him as a defender, but
I think he's all right. But also Liverpool don't spend money, so like
Yeah. I wonder.
That's also why
I still wonder
went with
how
neutral.
much. I still wonder how much they would spend on someone like Jedi, and how much Fulham would charge for that. But he is one of their better players. It probably would
Would
be a
Jedi be
premium
the
too.
highest paid American transfer?
He could be at that point.
What is
Uh,
the highest?
I'm not sure. It could be, bro. It could be Pulisic.
Oh yeah, that's probably it.
I would imagine him going to Chelsea was the
Yeah,
highest transfer fee.
that was like it was 60, 50 million. That's
Yeah,
probably
something
it.
like that. That's probably the obvious one. So I'll tell you who I said. I think left wing back's definitely a good shout. Because I think Robertson's getting old. You said Tsimikas he's kind of trash. I still think though they plan to use Chiesa and he's been dog shit. I think they plan to utilize him in some way and they just haven't really been able to for one reason or another. I really like, and bro, I'll be honest, I had to go back and watch like some Leon matches throughout the season.
Oh my god, no way you picked
I really
Turkey.
like Turkey, bro. I really
That's
like
what-
Turkey.
That's what I picked.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, and just the finance issues that they have right now and what's coming for Leon, I just think
But
that
PSG really, really, really want him.
they do. Yeah.
But
I still think Nunez is probably gone, right? In the summer. I like to think so. And they're gonna lose a lot of money on that deal overall. Jota he's kind of injury prone to an extent. Like he's probably the most clinical finisher or one of the most clinical finishers on that team, but he's kind of in and out. And I mean, outside of that, man, you got Gakpo, who's having the best season of his life, but can he keep it going long term? I just think a winger might freshen things up. A young winger.
I don't.
And Omar Marmoush, the Frankfurt.
Marmoush is a hell of a player too.
He is. I don't know if they're gonna get rid of Nunez because it really seems like Diaz is trying to move the La Liga like this summer.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, was he holding out for Barca? The contract talks are stalling.
He's not going to Madrid, so I guess it's like Barca or Atletico. But I truly like it doesn't seem like he wants to be in England for too much longer.
So there's that too, man. I don't know. Turkey to me kind of checks the boxes, and like they'll probably get him for a decent deal.
I put that just because I know they're not going to go for a pivot. The most obvious option is for them to go for like a Zubimendi or a Kimmich, like City should be doing. Maybe one team gets each of them, but I don't think they will go for it. If they do make a move, maybe they'll look at it, maybe an attacking option. They do expect to offload some in the summer, and also some of them right now aren't fit. So that's why I picked Cherchi/Marmoush.
Yeah, Omar Marmoush, man, what a season that dude's having. I mean, like what is he probably now?
Like connection with Mo Salah as well. There you go.
Bro, I mean, yeah. I was gonna say, like, what is he right now? That the second best Egyptian right now, probably in the world.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's having an absolute insane season. And to be fair, I mean, Frankfurt's having a fucking hell of a season. So, yeah, man. Either of those shouts, man, would level up Liverpool in a scary way. I think Marmoush actually, I think, is hella slept on, and he really kind of both of them are. But I think he would light up the Prem in an interesting way too. So. We'll see, man. We'll find out.
First-time players looking like a Cunha could play across that whole entire front four.
But you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
Freaking Paulinho not playing at what's going on at Bayern? Like a lot of these players are just not playing. Like I feel like Paulinho could also be a good shout.
He would be a good shout.
They just signed him. I would have to wait till the summer. I don't think that'd be a January move. I've seen a lot of my Bayern friends tell me that they keep calling for Paulinho to start, but company ain't doing it. The fact that he's starting Goretzka now after him and Goretzka had beef in the summer, but I think it's more so of a balance of the team because he kind of sees Kimmich, and then the sub option is
Pavolic. Pavolic is also
Pavolic is the one that's starting right now, yeah, but he's injured. So I think it's more so about the balance of the team than actual personnel. Because when he plays, he does very well from what I've heard from my friends. So
yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll call the video there, man. It was a good one. Again, these are our the one signing each of the big six clubs should make in January. Guys, if you haven't done so already, man, do me a favor, like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV, again, for more weekly Premier League content. We got predictions rolling right back around for game week 18. So, again, come back to the channel next week. Set that noti. You'll get it. You'll be able to tune in. But, yeah, man, we're excited for the holidays to get here. Boxing Day right around the corner for the Premier League, and the show's going to get crazy right around that time as well. All right, guys, so keep tuning in. From everybody here at Yanks at the Round Table, my name is Jose. That's Max. That's Hoffman. We'll catch you guys next time.